All right, imagine you're going through a tough time. Maybe it's a rough day at work, a failed project, or a relationship falling apart. You feel like the whole world is crashing down on you. But what if I told you there's a way to be unbreakable in these moments? Not in the sense that life will always be smooth, but in the way you handle it, in the way you stand tall despite it all. Today, we're going to break down how you can be mentally and emotionally unbreakable, no matter what life throws at you. 1. Embrace the power of perception. The first key to becoming unbreakable is to understand that perception is everything. How you see a situation dictates how you respond to it. Picture two people facing the exact same challenge. One sees it as a catastrophe, the other as an opportunity to grow. The difference? Their perception. If you learn to see problems as temporary, as lessons rather than setbacks, you instantly shift your mental state from one of fear to one of resilience. Think about Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He dealt with war, plague, and personal loss. But through it all, he kept his cool because he trained his mind to reframe situations. Every hardship was an opportunity for growth. So instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking yourself, "What can I learn from this?" 2. Control what you can, accept what you can't. One of the most powerful concepts to adopt is the idea that there are two things in life: things you can control and things you can't. The key to becoming unbreakable lies in focusing your energy on what you can control and letting go of the rest. You can't control the weather, other people's opinions, or certain external circumstances, but you can control your attitude, your reactions, and your decisions. Let's say you lose your job. It's a tough situation, no doubt. But you have a choice: dwell on the fact that it's unfair, or focus on what you can do next. You can update your resume, network, and learn new skills. By focusing on the things within your control, you stay proactive and unshaken by events that might paralyze others with fear. 3. Build emotional resilience through habits. Just like physical strength, emotional resilience is something that's built over time. It's about training your mind and emotions daily so that when the storm hits, you're not easily knocked down. One of the best ways to do this is by developing daily habits that ground you, such as meditation or mindfulness. Taking a few minutes every day to clear your mind helps you stay centered. It trains your brain to pause before reacting emotionally. Gratitude practice. Every morning or night, list 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right, which builds mental resilience. Exercise. Physical activity not only keeps you fit, but also releases endorphins, the body's natural mood elevators, making you more emotionally stable. These habits are like building armor for your mind. They might seem small, but over time they create a strong foundation that helps you withstand even the toughest situations. 4. Cultivate inner calm in chaos. We all know that person who stays calm no matter how chaotic things get. It's as if they have this inner peace that shields them from stress. The secret to cultivating that calmness is to practice detachment. Now, detachment doesn't mean not caring or being indifferent. It means caring deeply, but not letting external circumstances dictate your internal state. A great example comes from the teachings of Buddha, who emphasized the importance of detachment from outcomes. When you're too attached to a specific outcome, like getting that promotion, winning that deal, or making someone like you, you're setting yourself up for emotional instability. Why? Because you can't always control the outcome. But when you focus on the process rather than the result, you can remain calm and collected no matter what happens. 5. Reframe failure as feedback. Failure is inevitable. It's going to happen, no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But the difference between those who are breakable and those who are unbreakable is how they view failure. The unbreakable see failure as feedback, a necessary part of the learning process. Take Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. It's said that he failed over 1,000 times before finally succeeding. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." The lesson here? Failure is simply a stepping stone to success. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and grow stronger. If you can shift your mindset to see failure as feedback, you'll not only become unbreakable but unstoppable. 6. Surround yourself with strength. The people you surround yourself with play a huge role in your mental and emotional resilience. If you're constantly around negative people who complain, doubt, and spread fear, it's going to wear you down. But if you're surrounded by people who lift you up, challenge you to grow, and believe in your potential, you'll naturally become more resilient. Look at your current circle. Are they building you up or dragging you down? If you want to be unbreakable, seek out people who inspire you, who have faced challenges and come out stronger, and who encourage you to keep going even when things get tough. 7. Practice self-compassion. When we face difficult situations, we often beat ourselves up with negative self-talk. "I'm not good enough. I should have done better. I'll never get through this." But the truth is, being kind to yourself in tough times is one of the most important things you can do to build resilience. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. If your friend came to you after making a mistake, you wouldn't berate them, right? You'd probably say, "It's okay, you did your best, learn from this and move on." Now, imagine saying that to yourself the next time you face a challenge. By practicing self-compassion, you'll not only bounce back faster, but you'll also develop a deep sense of inner strength that keeps you grounded no matter what life throws at you. How to be unbreakable in any situation continued. 8. Develop a growth mindset. A huge part of being unbreakable is embracing the idea that you can always learn, improve, and adapt. This is what's known as a growth mindset, a concept popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, perseverance, and learning from mistakes. On the other hand, those with a fixed mindset believe their traits are set in stone and avoid challenges that might expose their weaknesses. The key to mental resilience is to adopt a growth mindset. When you view challenges and failures as opportunities for growth, rather than threats to your identity, you become far more adaptable and resilient. You start to see every obstacle as a chance to learn something new about yourself and the world around you. Ask yourself, when I face challenges, do I avoid them because I fear failure? Or do I embrace them because I know they'll help me grow? The more you focus on learning rather than proving yourself, the more unbreakable you'll become. 9. Break challenges into bite-sized pieces. Sometimes the reason we feel overwhelmed and defeated is that we see our problems as these massive, insurmountable mountains. But here's a trick: break those big challenges down into smaller, more manageable tasks. When you tackle things step by step, you'll find that even the biggest challenges become less daunting. Let's say you're faced with a major project at work and it feels impossible. Instead of panicking, break it down. What's the first small step you can take? Maybe it's gathering research or making a simple outline. By breaking the task into bite-sized pieces, you'll feel more in control and less overwhelmed, which helps you stay resilient. 10. Accept impermanence. One of the core teachings of Stoicism and Buddhism is the idea of impermanence. Nothing in life is permanent, not the good times, and certainly not the bad ones. When you accept that everything is temporary, you free yourself from the anxiety of clinging too tightly to anything. Let's say you're going through a tough breakup, or you've lost a job. It feels like the pain will last forever. But when you remind yourself that this feeling is temporary, just like everything else, you gain perspective. The storm will pass. Just as happiness doesn't last forever, neither do hardships. This understanding allows you to weather even the most challenging situations with grace and resilience. 11. Keep moving forward, even when it's hard. Life will knock you down. It's inevitable. But the people who are unbreakable aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who get back up every time. One of the most important traits of an unbreakable person is their ability to keep moving forward, even when it's hard. You might not feel like doing anything after a failure or a heartbreak. But resilience comes from action. Take small steps, even if it's just getting out of bed, going for a walk, or doing one productive thing a day. Every small action builds momentum. And before you know it, you've pulled yourself out of a dark place and are back on your feet again. Remember, resilience isn't about never feeling pain or sadness. It's about moving through those emotions and not letting them define you. 12. Visualize your resilience. There's a powerful technique called visualization, where you mentally rehearse yourself facing and overcoming challenges. Athletes use this technique all the time. Before a big game, they'll visualize themselves making the perfect shot or crossing the finish line. This practice primes their minds and bodies to succeed. You can do the same in everyday life. When you're faced with a challenging situation, take a few moments to close your eyes and visualize yourself handling it with grace and strength. See yourself staying calm, making the right decisions, and coming out on the other side stronger. This mental rehearsal helps prepare your brain for success when the real challenge arrives. 13. Accept help when you need it. Being unbreakable doesn't mean going through life alone. In fact, one of the strongest things you can do is ask for help when you need it. Whether it's reaching out to a friend, a family member, or even a professional, seeking support doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. Sometimes we get so caught up in trying to handle everything on our own that we forget there are people around us who want to help. Sharing your burdens with others not only lightens your load, but also strengthens your connections with those around you. And having a strong support system is one of the most important factors in resilience. 14. Use humor as a coping tool. Laughter really is the best medicine. When you can find humor in tough situations, you immediately diffuse the emotional intensity of the moment. Now, this doesn't mean making light of serious problems, but rather using humor as a way to gain perspective. Think about how many times you've looked back on a difficult situation and laughed about it later. That's the power of humor. It helps you see things from a different angle, making even the hardest times a little more bearable. So when life gets tough, try to find something to laugh about, even if it's just a small, silly moment. It's one of the easiest ways to build resilience. 15. Strengthen your why. When you have a strong reason why you're doing something, you're much more likely to push through tough times. This is often referred to as finding your purpose. Your purpose acts as your anchor, keeping you grounded and focused, even when things get rough. Why do you get out of bed every morning? What drives you to pursue your goals? If you can connect deeply with your purpose, whether it's providing for your family, achieving a personal dream, or helping others, you'll find that you can endure almost anything. When life gets hard, remind yourself of your why. Let it fuel you, even when the going gets tough. Purpose gives you a reason to keep pushing forward, no matter the obstacles.